Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching me. My name is Elizabeth Aisagboye, the CEO of Alice Cakes and Events. Today, I would like to teach us on how to make Ermine Buttercream. Ermine Buttercream. Now, what is Ermine Buttercream? Ermine Buttercream is just like every other kind of buttercream that we make. But in this part of the country, we are kind of used to American buttercream. Only few people have the knowledge and the understanding of Swiss marine buttercream, Italian marine buttercream. You will agree with me that we have varieties of buttercream. We have American buttercream, we have Swiss marine buttercream, we have Italian marine buttercream, we also have French buttercream. As a matter of fact, if we dig more, we have more buttercream than we thought that we have. But the one that we are very used to in this country is American buttercream. Now, what is the useful of this buttercream and what makes it stand out? What makes this particular buttercream, which is MI buttercream, stand out is because of the creamy taste that it gives. Though it doesn't dry like American buttercream, but the taste is awesome. Now, I would like us to follow up as I begin the process of this buttercream. And I'm sorry, I would have used my normal voice that I used in the video, but I noticed that the background noise was extremely too much. So that is why I had to do a voiceover. Now to start with, we have flour, 150 gram of flour. I am using 150 gram of flour, as you can see it. Now, the second thing we use is margarine. I will be using 250 gram of margarine, 250 gram of margarine, as you can see it in my hand. Also, I will use milk. Now, to this milk, now, in the Western world, you can use milk all through if you can afford it. But we all understand how expensive milk is in this part of our country. So that was why I actually came up with what's it called? I came up with water to substitute, to add to it, to be able to have the quantity that I need. Because if I'm to go by the milk alone, I won't achieve the quantity that I need. So therefore, I added water to it to make it more. Now, the next thing you have to do is you add your supreme milk flavor. That will enhance the creamy taste and also the flavor that you need in it. So the next I want to use now is a cup of sugar. As you can see, I have measured it down. I will be using a cup of sugar. This MI buttercream is not extremely sweet, unlike American buttercream that is extremely sweet. Extremely sweet. You can testify to it. Now, the next I want to do is I want to toast both the sugar and the flour together. I will toast it for a while because you don't want to give people raw flour to eat. At the same time, we need to cook it to be able to achieve the thickness. In a while you are doing the cooking of the flour and the sugar, you will be creaming your margarine down. You'll be creaming your margarine depending on the numbers of time you have. So the next thing we want to do is we want like us to proceed to the gas cooker. I'd like us to proceed to the gas cooker. So now, why do we have to cook this? We have to cook it to get that thickness that we need. At the same time, as you can see now, I have proceeded to the gas. Two things are attached to this cooking: the thickness and not giving raw flour to people to eat. Those are the two things that are attached to it. So now I have started toasting it just like the way you see it now. I am toasting it. Then I will feel it to see the hotness. Because at the same time, you don't want the sugar in it to start melting off to the extent that it will start changing color. So as you can see, I have checked it and it is hot enough for me to add my liquid into it. So the next I want to do is I have added water to the milk now. You can see the quantity of milk that I have now. I have added water to the milk now, so I am adding it little by little, as you can see. And as you're adding it, you stir. You have to make sure you stir very fast because you don't want it to develop, to have any form of lumps. You don't want it to have any form of lumps in it because I don't want it to have lumps. So you have to make sure you get rid of every single form of lumps that is inside, just like I am doing it now. You get rid of every form of lumps that is inside and you continually stir. You stir continuously because if you don't stir continuously, it's just like cooking pap. If you leave the pap, you will know that it will start having lumps, and a part of it will get cooked, the other part will not get cooked. So make sure you are getting rid of the lumps. Now it is sticking, as you can see now. It is sticking up, as you can see now. So what I want to do is I want to transfer it to a bowl. Here now I have transferred it to a bowl and I'm adding the liquid flavor, which is supreme milk flavor. I will be adding it directly into the cooked mixture like I am doing it now. I'll add it into the cooked liquid mixture just as I've done it now. Then you mix together, you stir it together. You stir it together very well like I'm doing it now. You stir it together. Now, one thing I want us to understand is, why do we have to go through all this stress? You will agree with me that the recipe that this calls for, it's not much and it's not expensive. If you calculate what I have used here, it's not up to the amount that you will use in buying just your icing sugar alone. Now, quickly, after you have mixed it together, you need to get a clean nylon. If you have a clean film, use your clean film. But this is what I have at hand at the moment. So I'll be using this polythene nylon. As you can see, I am cutting it into two because I don't want to use the outer part of it. So I'm using the inner part of it to cover it. And why do I have to cover it? Because we need to allow it to cool down before we can add it to our margarine, our creamed margarine. So now, for it to cool down, at the same time, you don't want it to develop skin at the top of it. You don't want it to develop skin at the top of it. So that is why, when you leave a flour or even a pap, the upper part will get dry. So this is what we are trying to prevent now. I'm trying to prevent the upper part getting dry at the moment. So as it is now, I will be placing it directly into the fridge to cool down on time. I'll put it inside the fridge to cool down on time without getting the upper parts dry like I have done it now. So next, I'll proceed to the mixer now. Now I have proceeded to the mixer. I've added my margarine, which is 250 grams of margarine. I've started creaming. Here you can see the butter. The margarine is fully creamed. The margarine is fully creamed. Then now, I want to start adding the mixture. You will start adding the mixture a tablespoon at a time. Why do you have to make it a tablespoon at a time? It's because you want everything to incorporate together. You want it to incorporate properly together. So you add a tablespoon at a time, like I am doing it in here. Gradually, you start adding a tablespoon at a time, a tablespoon at a time, a tablespoon at a time, till you are done with the whole mixture. Till you are done with the whole mixture. So if we calculate the expenses of this, we will discover that it is not expensive at all. Okay, I use 150 grams of flour. Let's just say that one is just like 300 naira. Let's say 300 naira. The milk that I use is about 250. That's about 550 naira. Margarine is 500. That's 1050 naira. The milk flavor, let's say 200. 1250. Let's say the sugar about 250. You can get it like that. So now, if you want to buy a sachet of what is it called now? Icing sugar is 1 kg of icing sugar is now 1500. Now you buy your margarine, that's about 2000 naira, and whereby you can make something with just 1.5. So now I am done with the creaming of everything. Now I want to put in the piping bag for you to see. Now the thickness of this particular margarine, now depending on the quantity of margarine that you had, the thickness of this buttercream depending on the quantity of margarine you have. So if you want it to be more thicker Add a little bit of margarine. But for me, this texture is very, very okay for me. Now, I am trying to pipe it on the table for you to see how it looks. And the funniest thing is, it does not fall off. Unlike American buttercream, you will see now after I'm done piping it, I'm going to flip the board upside down for you to see that it doesn't fall off. In fact, it's almost like the Swiss marine buttercream. Swiss marine buttercream as well doesn't fall off. It doesn't fall off. Can you see? Can you see? And the beauty of it is it brings out the shape of the piping. It makes the Ermine Buttercream makes your piping looks exceptional. It brings out every single details on your piping. You can see, and it's very tasty. Thank you and God bless you. I hope you enjoy this class. Okay, one more thing. I would also like to encourage us and to advise us to always inform our clients that this particular buttercream does not get dry, so that some of them will take it and at the end of the day they will start telling you, oh, it's melting off, oh, it's flatching, oh, it's doing mede, and like I've had that experience in the past. But as soon as they taste it, they get to understand that it's a wonderful kind of buttercream and they get to love it. But at first, if you don't explain to them, to tell them that this particular buttercream, it's not kind of buttercream that dries up, so it should be handled carefully. It should be handled carefully. So some of them might get pissed off and all that, but it is a wonderful buttercream. Now, I would like to give us tips on how to proceed on this. You can never overmix it. So in case you start adding it and you notice it's becoming kind of watery, you are not getting the kind of thickness you want, keep whisking it, or better still, you want it more thicker, add a little bit of margarine to it, depending on the quantity that you are making. And I hope we all understand. Thank you so much, and thank you for this wonderful opportunity given to me. God bless you all. Bye.